up, everybody? Welcome back to Digging Life 21. We're going to give a few minutes for everybody to come in that wants to come in. Today, I've been just talking about excavation, grading, land clearing, demolition, everything I do on a smaller scale. And the whole idea of doing the live is to give viewers like you the opportunity to come in, ask your questions, and be heard. Hopefully I can answer some questions for everybody. Be sure to drop it in the comments and let me know who's in here and where you're coming from. Probably going to see some people from earlier today. This is just kind of I'm out of work today because of snow up where my excavator is. I'm going to be starting a really fun, I would say a gravel driveway repair, but it's mostly just a muddy road. So let's see who's in here. Stephen Van Bommel, what's happening, my friend? Glad to have you in here. Let's put you up on the screen here. So can you pass the news on, or do we have to wait? Pass the news on? You're going to have to clarify. I'm not sure exactly which news. All right, WTQ, what's up to you, my friend? Thanks for coming back in. It's always great to see you. Eric Memna X, good to have you in, man. You must be getting some snow today. What's up? I want to know. Give me a thumbs up if I'm saying it right. Is it Cubly Cat or is it Cubly Cat? So if the first time was right, give me a thumbs up if it's Cubly Cat. Otherwise, I'm going to quit pronouncing it wrong because that would drive me nuts. WTQ, he's in Midland, Texas area. Latrell Mayo, Brandon, Mississippi, I believe. Making a Houston, Texas. Keegan Porter, Platte, South Dakota. Stephen Van Bommel from lunch. Brent King, good to see you again, man. How's it going, buddy? Just kind of following up this little marathon live stream, just trying to get everybody to come in that can only come in certain times of the day. I've been primarily doing my live streams at 7 or 8 p.m. and I understand that a lot of my viewers are halfway around the world. So also, thanks to it is Cubly Cat. Thank you, Cubly Cat. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. I just want you to know I took that super chat that you and the other viewer that graciously super chatted me earlier. I went straight to Best Buy and I got a landline. So I am hardwired to my router right now. So you guys let me know. I know Cubly Cat, you were in here earlier. Let me know if you can tell a difference in the stream, whether it's the audio, the video, anything. I did notice that immediately I noticed the difference was my upload speed. As soon as I would click on something, usually you got a second, when you click on something or you do a search and you have a second there to wait for something. Well, it's actually popping up just like that. So I know my upload speed super fast right now. Hopefully my export speed is faster as well. Let's see here. Who we got in here? Chris James, big difference with video. Excellent. That's great to hear. Great to hear. Sitting at the fire station on duty, waiting for something to go down, I guess. Brent says that everything is excellent right now as well. Let's see. Brilliant news. Much better. Good. Seems better so far. No lag. We got a woohoo! Finally got you live. How's it going, Ian? I hope you got your French drain dug in without the ground being froze too hard. There's James D's. Get her done broadcasting. WTQ. Live feed sounds and looks great. This makes me very, very happy because I'll be back on tonight. Only tonight I'll be on here with Kelly. And that's when we get most of our live viewers. I've been getting, let's see, what did I get up to the other night? I think we got like 140 people, and that just thrilled me. It was a little over that. When me and Kelly live stream together, I think that it's a bigger benefit for the viewers like you guys, because if you have like financial questions or books, keeping books, she is better at answering that stuff than me. So it's, one of, I bought a long enough landline to where I can take you guys, pick you up, and take you to the living room, because we like to sit on the couch and do our live streams together. It's definitely going to be a huge improvement. I'm constantly researching, watching YouTube, watching other YouTubers. I watch a lot of Nick Nimmin, a lot of Think Media, and all of those guys help YouTube creators. So if you guys are YouTube creators or you want to be YouTube creators, those are two of my favorite. Brian G. Johnson, he's another one. He's a great one. And YouTube is a great place for you to showcase what you do in life. And believe me, it doesn't matter what you do. There's a guy, post 10. All this guy does is unclog drains like culverts. They'll be backed up water, and it is some of the most satisfying footage I've ever watched. And it's ridiculously monotonous, but that dude, he's got, I want to say hundreds of thousands. I can't remember exactly how many, but it's post 10. And this guy just goes around, unclogs drains. And you get to watch the water swirl, and it drains down really fast. And it is absolutely entertaining. It's almost like watching a dump truck tailgate gravel. It's just oddly satisfying. So let me get my microphone back up here. I was kind of having to rearrange some stuff when I was running my cable and everything. So again, hopefully the live streams are better and better for you guys, and it's consistent. That's the biggest thing for me. So let's get to where I know WTQ live feed sounds and looks great. That's excellent. Let's say, Eric, I'm done with the snow. I just got in. I was stuck for about an hour trying to put my tire chains on because I was daring to attempt pushing a driveway cut in along the Susquehanna River with them. Well, Eric, how'd that go? Oh, Scotland? Nope, I'm not in Scotland. I just wear the cool hat like they do over there. This is actually a Boston Scally Cap. It's a Boston, Massachusetts. I'm not sure where they're based out of, though. I want to say Boston originally, but I think they've got other facilities as well. Let's see here. James Dees, what bigger excavator are you thinking of? Man, I'm telling you what. The one that keeps catching my eye, I'm not a fan of like if it's a pretty machine or a good looking machine or not, but the Takeuchi 2150, I'm thinking will be the big one. And it's a rubber track machine, and I think it would, I'm really leaning toward that one. I really am. I need to get something that's big and something that is, still rubber tracked. I've got to keep my rubber tracks. I know Mike at Dirt Perfect, he's got a really big excavator that has rubber tracks and it does fine. But seems like in my area, a lot of old asphalt roads that were done on the cheap are like an inch thick. So even though it wasn't done right, I'm still liable if I tear it up. Unless I can get on the side of waiver, which they never will. Let's see here. Chris James, did you watch YouTube to learn anything you didn't know how to do? Absolutely. And actually, one of the craziest ones was I always thought having a tree service would be fun. So I actually learned how to climb trees with spikes and ropes and all that good stuff, and how to dismantle trees from the top down from YouTube. and I actually did pretty good at it. It was a fun business, but it's so competitive in my area. It's really hard to make a big profit. And that's what competition does. You beat each other down on profit. And that's one reason I would discourage people from trying to start a business if there's just a huge amount of competition. Other people in the area doing the same thing. If anything, if you're going to do that, you've got to do it better than anybody else or cheaper, one of the two. I've always structured my business to try to be the best and try to be known for doing the best work, but not be known for being cheap, because then everybody that hears about you will expect that. They will expect cheap prices. Let's see. Then just went to the project and wing it. And like French drains, I learned how to do a French drain from Apple Drains. And I think there's a channel, the French Drain Man. I've had a lot of people encourage me to check into that channel. I just haven't yet, because Apple Drains, that guy is, you can talk to one person who does a business or a job just because it's a job. It's almost a negative tone that you always talk to those people, but it's a lot better when you talk to somebody who is passionate about what they do, who love what they do. And it's hard to not develop that feeling toward the same thing. So yeah, I've learned a lot of stuff from YouTube, and, in return, I'm starting to get viewers who are needing me for information or wanting to do the private consultations, and I'm reaching back out to them and trying to help in the best way that I know how. Let's see. Lucid Kevin 1. Hello. How are you? Welcome to the broadcast. And 25 meters to dig. Got 10 done today. Very wet clay, all by hand. No fun at all. Definitely not. Wet ground, in some ways, it's easier to spade into it, but it's heavier to lift it. So, dirt's dirt, and it's always going to put up a fight. Danny Hunter, look forward to watching the live. You're very, very helpful. I try and watch all your videos. You and DP was great together. Danny, we had a great time. We actually, when we ended the broadcast, we sat and chatted probably 30 or 45 more minutes, just me and him, and talking about stuff, personal wise, opinions. We don't really want to necessarily just throw a ton of opinions out there to you guys. We want to provide facts and things that are the most beneficial to you guys. Let's see here. Chris James, I don't see you use a laser level much. Do you have one? No, I do not. If so, what jobs do you prefer to use it? I really don't take on jobs that require that much precision. I use a bubble or a line level. I'll put a couple of stakes up and pull my string, and then I'll just set my excavator up, and I'll pick a part of my bucket or a lower edge, and I just start pulling back along that line. I don't even really look at the ground, as long as I know I'm cutting or pulling dirt and raising area up where I need to. But it seems like I've watched a lot of jobs where they use laser levels, and it just looks really, it's pickier to me than what I want to get involved with. I love, like, when somebody calls me up and says, I'm having a shed delivered. I need you to get me a pad. And I know that when I cut the pad, it needs to have just a little bit of fall to where water will roll off the front, or I'll hump it up to where water runs to the edges and can run out that way. I like very basic, simple jobs. Plus, those are the types of jobs that it's really easy to please the customers. I don't do footers. I don't do foundations. I don't do anything like that. And that's something me and Mike talked about, was that it's every contractor needs to do what they enjoy, because if you don't, obviously you're not going to enjoy your jobs, and it's going to make, every day I get up, I'm, for the most part, excited to go to work. I can't wait to get out the door. And just like today, I talked to my buddy Wayne Forbes that's up in Burnsville where I was going to be working. They had 4 inches of snow. It was really disappointing. It was really disappointing that I did not get to get out and go. So I knew I was going to be stuck in the house today. It's in the 20s, and it's hard to get outside to really do much. So, and it's blowing snow now, so I'm sure it is up there. I'll check with my customer late this evening, see what's going on. That driveway already had snow on it yesterday. I did take a video of it. I might post it this evening and get it up and going. But Chris, to get back on the subject, no, I don't use a laser level. Let's see here. Steve Smallwood, good to see you, Steve. Been a subscriber and have watched your channel for a while. I know how much work is involved in because my 13-year daughter has been trying to build her channel for about 2 years. 13 years old and she's trying to build her channel. Man, if there's anything, if she's there with you, or I'll be on tonight, if she has any questions, I am more than glad to tell her, what I've done. Her channel may be bigger than mine for all I know. But if she's got any questions, feel free to have her jump in on these live chats. I'll be glad to give any advice I can, because YouTube is hard and it is a marathon. It is not a sprint. It takes time. It's taken me a long time to just get to 14,000 subscribers. It's taken a couple of years to do that. Tanner Swanner, love the channel. Do you have your customers sign any contract or any kind of paperwork? Yeah, unfortunately, we have to, just to cover ourselves. And usually what I will do is first comes the proposal. I'll send them an email or a text saying this is exactly what I'm going to do. On top of that, I'll send them a link to one of my YouTube videos so they can see a project previous that I've done. And that's a good thing about having niches, or niche, as you call it, type of work. There's just a select handful of types of work that I do, and I've got plenty of videos that I can send them and they can watch it. And then once they're okay with the proposal, I type up an email that has all the inclusions, all the things I'm going to do exactly to the letter. And sometimes if I feel the need to, I'll also make a list of exclusions at the end, just outlining stuff that I feel like they might have thought might be included, but is not. And that way there's no gray area there, and there's nobody coming up at the end of the project and them saying, oh, are you not going to do this? It's just like some customers think just because you're doing all the grading and stuff, you're going to seed in straw. That needs to be outlined, because straw costs money, seed costs money, and it should definitely cost money for your time to do it. Let's see here. Stephen, I enjoy your lives because the comments don't move too fast. I'll tell you what, it is nice, and that was one thing me and Mike on the Dirt Perfect the other night after we got off the live feed. He wants to come on my channel. He wants me to host a live. And I was like, well, there's not going to be as many people in there, but I'm up for it. I love having, 30, 40, 60 people in there, and I can keep up. And even sometimes that's tough to keep up with. I like StreamYard here. I can put your comments up on the screen, and we can all turn our attention to you and answer your questions. But yeah, I really, really do enjoy doing these lives, and it's a lot easier. It's not like I have to sorry about that. Phone distracted me and it breaks my train of thought. So we're definitely going to keep doing the live streams. I think it's a real benefit. I can make all the videos in the world, but there will still be specific questions that you guys have that I want to answer. I want this channel to not just be about me making videos about, look at me, look what I can do. And I've said this before, I want it to be about you guys, and I want to answer your questions. And if you're trying to get into these businesses, or you're wanting to start a YouTube channel, I want you to take a look at yourself and give yourself the opportunity to think, look at you, look what you can do and what you can do with your life. Chris James, have you had success with paid Facebook ads? I will say yes. I can't go into specifics because that comes up to like our paid consultations, because you do have to be specific with how you do Facebook ads. So I'm going to, just for anybody out there, I'm going to drop my email on the screen right now. And if you want to shoot us an email, it is valuable information that we have. That we will tell you exactly where we advertise, how we advertise there, what radiuses, how much we spend. Consultations are $150 an hour. But like I say, the last consultation we did, it was awesome. The guy had his questions listed out, and it was a rapid fire. He would ask a question and I would give him an answer. And none of his questions, he had me and Kelly both. So you're not just getting the operations side, you're getting the finances, the office side. And there wasn't any questions we couldn't answer. And actually it was about 40 minutes in, he ran out of questions. Well, that's when me and Kelly said, okay, here's something you haven't asked us. It's very important to your success. And for 20 minutes, we just spewed out information. And as quick as he could take it down, or he would tell us to continue, we just kept spewing all this out. And he actually commented the other day, and he said he recommended the consultations, that he got quality out of it. So some people, they have to, you have to really think, are you really going to go into business now? And that's what the consultations are really geared toward. It's geared toward not just the fun stuff, the dirt stuff and all that. It's geared toward what it's going to take to make you successful. And there's a whole lot of behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people don't even think about. So there's the email address. I'm going to leave it up just for a couple of seconds here. And if you guys are interested, you can email me. Otherwise, keep your questions coming, and I'll just tell you, if it gets into finances and specifics of stuff that people have already paid to know, it wouldn't be fair for me to share it for free. So I'm just trying to be fair about it. And, when you're operating a business, it can be very specific to your area. And that's one thing we do when we talk to somebody. I ask them, what area are you in? And I research it. And I research the type of population and if I think that business is going to do well there. So there's a lot to it as far as that goes. So let's jump back into our comments here. Track Geeks, I have a TB235. I really like it, a smooth running machine. I would say so. I like Takeuchi's machines. I used to haul them a lot running for United Rentals, and they really didn't tear up much. They were solid little machines. Josh Willis, welcome into the broadcast, my friend. Love the channel. Subscribed after I watched the first video. Seen every video since. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you watching. Keep up the great work from Josh in southwestern Indiana. You must be maybe close to Dirt Perfect over there. Ian, I've used a water level for many years. It works well, and it's cheap. No batteries required. See, that's just the good thing about them. Keep it simple. WTQ. Digging Life must be on Ritchie Brothers 2021 gang videos. That might be a fun trip. But I'd say by the time that rolls around, I'm going to be probably cranking pretty busy. Alex, hey again, buddy. Thanks for dropping back in, my brother. John Tails Excavating and Johnny Snowplow Services. Thanks for dropping in, man. Appreciate it. I am doing very well. I hope you guys are as well. Did you guys get any snow over the night? Are you guys out plowing, or are you just hanging around the hacienda? Alex Outdoors says, I changed my name, man. I love it, dude. And it looks good, dude. Alex Outdoors. It says who you are and what you're doing, man. I really, really think it's going to work for you. Your profile picture's spot on. I think your channel's going to do well, man. It's going to do well. You need to come in here and do a live chat with me sometime. We'll get you some exposure in front of some people, and hopefully get you a few subscribers. Lucid Kevin, would you recommend renting a machine before I plunge into buying one? I would definitely. I think renting is an excellent way. We've actually reached the last of our comments, so if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to throw them out there. But on the rental side of things, a good general rule for me, if you're consistently paying twice, say you could rent like an excavator like mine. See, the payment on it's $1,500. If I was renting it enough a month to where you're paying like $3,000 in rent, it's definitely time for you to buy. In general, if you're going to be in a business, especially excavation grading, you're going to need to buy an excavator. There's no question about it. And one good thing about renting is you can advertise and you can see what kind of jobs you're getting, what kind of jobs you're getting calls for, and say what size of jobs, what size excavator you need. It's a good way to ease into it. It's really easy to ease into it by renting. You don't want to get stuck with a $2,000 a month excavator payment because you bought too big a one and you can't even use it on half of your jobs. My opinion, between a 12,000 pound and a 20,000 pound excavator is perfect if you're watching my type of videos. If you're watching my videos and the types of jobs I'm doing, you will see very quickly that a 20,000 pound machine is perfect for me. It's fairly easy to haul in my area for the most part, and it's big enough to do some pretty big clearing if I want to, but it's also small enough to maneuver and work around in fairly tight spaces. It is only 7 feet wide. So here, John, no snow yet. Friday, 2 inches expected. I figured you'd be getting a little bit more than that, but where are you, John? Where are you at exactly? Alex, let me know whenever, man. We'll do it, dude. Let me, let's see. Yeah, man. If you would, Alex, I'm going to put my email back up here. I don't know if you saw it. Let's see here. I'm still getting used to this. Alex, take that email down and shoot me an email, and we'll talk. We will make it happen, my friend. Moving on down here. Oh, Toronto, Ontario. I figured you'd be keeping snow all the time, man. Ned Dirtworks. Any Northeast Dirtworks? Is that what that's for? Watching you, Dirt Perfect, and Let's Dig 18 has inspired me to try to start my own YouTube channel for the work I do. You will do fine. I am telling you, there is an audience for everybody. And definitely just go into it being yourself. Just be yourself. And let's see, that's the biggest thing. When I went into it and I first started YouTube, I was just dry. If you've watched my old videos, they're terrible. It's awful. And a lot of it was I was trying to be a personality that I felt like people really wanted and what they needed. And the fact of the matter was that I just needed to be myself. And the biggest reason is if you are just playing the game and you're being somebody you're not, by the time you build an audience, you're going to start being tired of playing that part. And in that, you're going to slowly go back to just being your regular personality. As you get comfortable, you're going to become your original self. And in that, you may become somebody that the audience that you've built doesn't like. And either they're going to be unhappy or you're going to be unhappy. That's the biggest thing. I'm telling you, my phone's blowing up today. Dennis Blankspoor. Why do they hardly use wheeled excavators in North America? Really, I don't have a good answer for that. I do not have a good answer for that. I think it's mostly, and this may not even be a good reason, they just haven't gotten popular for whatever reason. The only places that I see them used are on highway construction types of jobs. I know for my uses, just it's steep, and I feel like the tracks climb better, and it keeps you at a lower center of gravity, I think, is my personal reason. But they just really just aren't popular. They're not popular at all up here. Steven, when you started, did you ever end up renting equipment that ended up being too big for what you needed? No, not really. I was always pretty good at picking a size of machine that I needed for each job. One thing I would say is don't be afraid to rent something bigger than what you think you're going to need. That can be just as bad as too small. You could get into it. And I've had people call me and be like, do you think a 25 size excavator would be big enough when they need a 100 or 120? You know, sometimes people just don't know. Oh, okay. Nebraska Dirt Works. Okay. I'm with you now. I will remember you, hopefully. There's so many people come through here, and like right now we've got 33, and I may have 33 on the next live, but it's a totally different bunch of people. Chris James, what editing program do you use for your videos? I use KineMaster, K-I-N-E Master, M-A-S-T-E-R, and I also use, that's the one I use the most. On my laptop, if I'm wanting to do a 4K video, since my phone can't handle 4K, I use iMovie on my computer. I have a John Deere 320 skid steer and a Case 580 backhoe myself. Try to get work, but no one in my area wants to pay anything. You know, that happens a lot, and it does depend on the area you are in. Prime example, like just a basic driveway scrape. The town I grew up in, you'd be lucky to get $150. And out here for the same size of job, you'll get about $450. That is just the difference in local markets. It's huge. I got you, Alex. I appreciate it, buddy. I will be in touch. We will line it up. Martin, now I know what you look like. Enjoyed the video with Dirt Perfect. I had a blast making that video with Dirt Perfect, man. He is his person. It doesn't matter if you're talking to him on the phone, if you're I didn't FaceTime, but like me and him, when we were split screening on that collaboration, once you end the broadcast, you're still both just sitting there, and we were able to kind of do like a FaceTime. And I'm telling you, every time I ever talk to him, his personality is the same. It does not change at all. And, you know, that's what I hope for a lot of people, you know, that's what I look for in YouTube, is seeing people who do not change personality wise. Martin, I'm glad you got a profile picture. It's good to put a face with the name. Dirt Brute, my buddy. I've used Cat 318 wheel excavator for road work. They are not good off-road and cost a lot to buy. So unless you're a road company, guys here won't spend the money on one. So there's your answer. They just don't do good off-road, I guess, in our areas. And the other thing is, in my area, the ground gets soft a lot. And you've got mountains and valleys. Down the valleys, the ground tends to stay soft. So, you know, those tracks, they spread the pressure out and you won't sink. I guarantee you, if my excavator had just wheels on it, even if it was 2 on each corner, that sucker would be stuck right and left. I almost guarantee it. But yeah, I just don't think I would have a use for anything wheeled other than my tractor. If I bought a skid steer, it'd be a track machine for sure. As far as track machines, I've looked at the ASV 120s. That would be one. Takeuchi, they make solid stuff. Lucid Kevin, what's a good range for insurance? I live in Vancouver, British Columbia. That's a good question. I don't know if it changes up in Canada. Are you talking about like insurance on your general liability or on like trucks and machinery and stuff? drop me a message right quick and we'll go over it. Dirt works. I'd be stuck with a wheeled excavator. I think a lot of us would be. Lucy Kevin, liability. I want to say, and this is a good question, and when we've got Kelly on tonight, she can give you specific numbers. But I really don't remember. Kelly pays the bills on that stuff, and she could tell you just like that. Something's telling me, I won't say we pay, and I may be way off. I may be thinking of something else, but I want to say like $1,500 to $2,000 a year. I think we get pay almost like $8,000 for all of our insurance, both dump trucks, my Ram 1500, our general liability. Let's see, trailer insurance. I've got like on my forestry mulching head, I believe I've got full coverage on it to protect against theft, which if somebody can pick that sucker up, they've earned it because it weighs about 1,000 pounds. Let's see. A lot of utilities here are shallow. It rarely gets below freezing. Where are you at, Kevin? Let's dig into that. You down in Florida or where are you at? I am loving this connection. I am telling you, I should have done a wired LAN connection for live streaming ever since. This is going to be a game changer, folks. I'm telling you. Has anybody new come in? Has anybody not said hello to let me know who you are and where you're from? Let's see here. Like I say, I'm just I'm doing these super chats, or it's not super chats. I'm doing these chats for you guys to give you guys an opportunity to give me your questions, and hopefully I can answer anything. Don't be afraid to ask me a question just because I say, some questions I can't share outside of a private consultation, especially if it's a very specific, like money question, like as far as how to advertise specifically where, stuff like that. Hopefully my connection's still good. And I'm not just losing you guys. I guess the Dirt Boss, he's probably still out plowing snow right now. I'd like to do a live stream with Dirt Boss. I'm going to get Dirt Brute. I'm going to get him talked into it. And let's see. I know Chris, Let's Dig, he doesn't really do live streams a lot. He doesn't like to be sitting in front of the camera, I don't think. Let's see. Let's see. Let's put him up here. Oh, there we go. Lucy Kevin, I'm so close to getting a company going. Until you just take that day and do it, they'll be waiting on it. Lawrence Zacchio Jr. Larry, upstate New York. Great channel, my friend. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. And, it's the channel's just what it is because of people who are coming in and making it what it is. Digging for a living. Hello from Wisconsin. Did some lucky person by Wilbur. Not yet. I've had a bunch of offers, and they range from $2,000 up to $14,000. And the 14 is shy of really where I need to be to feel good about selling him. All in all, I've got, let's see, really around $60,000, $65,000 in him, which, let's face it, he's an older truck, but he is a good truck. He's a good, reliable truck. So obviously I don't expect to get anywhere near $65,000, but the $14,000 offer is a decent offer, but it's just shy of where I need to be at. And, until I can get just what I really feel like he's worth to me, it wouldn't make sense to let him go. If anything, I just have to pull the tag on him and just keep him as a backup. Just for a really bad occurrence. I'd love to be able to get him to somebody that's trying to start their business, because he would make a great starter truck. Absolutely great starter truck. Lucia Given, trying to decide on a name, and that can be tough. That can be really tough, because when you're trying to think of your business name, and I was saying this earlier, you need to come up with a name if you want to make it easy on yourself, especially if people are searching for you alphabetically. In Yellow Book, Yellow Pages, the actual paper is becoming a thing of the past. But if that's something you're targeting, then you need to start your business name with something as close to the letter A, if not the letter A, as possible. One thing I go for is location. Now everything is search engine based. Google and YouTube are the two biggest search engines there is. They're owned by each other. And what I would recommend somebody do is come up with really the best setup, in my opinion. My humble opinion is the first word or words of your business name reveal where you are operating, what area you're operating. Now, like I could do Asheville land specialist if I just want to stay close around Asheville. But instead, I thought, we may want to expand one day. And that's where we did Southeastern land specialist. The Southeastern it reveals the southeastern region of the United States. It's regional. It leaves you room for expansion. But if you have no desire to ever expand, I would suggest using the city that you live in, its name. Now, to expand on that, I live in Black Mountain, North Carolina. It is right next to Asheville, which is a lot bigger and a lot more well-known. So if somebody's looking for a service, even if they're in one of the outlying towns, more than likely they're going to search for excavation grading in Asheville, North Carolina, something like that. So to be the quickest to come up, you would need to be called Asheville Excavating, blah, blah, blah. If you're wanting to stay in that centralized location. Okay, so you reveal your location. The next, you reveal what you do. Now Southeastern land specialists, surprisingly, people do not call me looking for real estate hardly ever. You would think that we are a land company, that we sell or buy land, or we are developers. Surprisingly, nobody ever calls us for that. We always get called for small excavation, grading, and a lot of that is we are thorough in our advertising. And that just goes to be trial and error. Where you advertise, what you spend on it. And that makes a big difference. On your vehicles, your company name, it needs to become moderately sized, but somewhere on your vehicle, you need to have a print that tells what you do, your specific services. I would do at least 3 specific services if you offer more than one main service, and that needs to be in a bigger print. So the letters need to be bigger than your company name, because your company names on a vehicle is the least important. On your vehicle, it needs to be services, phone number. Easy peasy. So location, what you do. That's what I would recommend. Let's say, John, I'm around 11 to 1,500 for liability for my excavation work and 10 grand for snow. I plowed 3 times this year and salted 6. See, I'm not familiar with snow removal at all, but I do know for Asheville, an area that doesn't get snow very often, it pays big money, man. I am telling you, the snow removal and salting pays big money in this area. It blows my mind, but it's one of those services I don't really have an interest in getting into. Track Geeks. Wired is the way to go for live streams. Hi from F-Land, North Carolina. Let's Dig 18 is a cool guy. Thanks, Track Geeks. And, man, I wished I'd have seen you on my earlier streams, because it was disappointing to, for me, I'm watching myself on the screen. and it would look solid, flow good, and just all of a sudden the screen would go black and you'd have the little circling thing like it's trying to reload, I guess you could say. But then I would watch the playback recording later and it was awful. So you guys click the like button and let me know if it's still coming through. Has it had any points to where it was a bad feed, bad sound, bad video? Drop it in the comments for me, guys. Help a hillbilly out making better streams. Lucy Kevin, this is great info. I really appreciate it and your work you do. It is my pleasure. It really is. And like I say, I don't mind giving general free advice on here. And a lot of it, can be applied to any business. But when it comes to specifics, that's where it gets tricky. I love my iced coffee, don't you guys? Lucy Kevin, when you were starting out, did you call companies to find out rates and what you should be charging? I actually was just winging it most of the time. I would just guess. When I first started out, I was just doing driveway work, and I was just doing it for like $75 an hour, which I heard was the standard. And, now I work for around $150 to $180, between $150 and $190 an hour. And that sounds really high. And in some places it is really high. But if you went to Hollywood or Los Angeles, California, that's not much money at all. So it's really relevant to where you're at. And this comes into play. Like if you take a person who moves into an area, and I work for a lot of people who are just now moving into this area, and Asheville is fairly expensive compared to other places we live. And I think it's actually one of the highest places to live. I'm wanting to say it was listed as one of the most expensive places to live in the country. I'm pretty sure. And you have people move in here and they get sticker shocked. They freak out. And I've preached it before. If you have a client who just loses their mind on you and thinks you're a crook, be nice to them, because like in this area, we all charge roughly the same, and it will not take them long to see you're charged about the same as everybody else. What they're going to remember is your personality. That's what's going to stand out. So they're going to be like, well, hey, I freaked out, lost my cool, and he was still nice to me. And all these other people that are giving me quotes are quoting the same thing, and they're just dry. They're not friendly or anything. So that's what I try to go for. I try to be nice. I try to be calm no matter how the customer treats me. It's be nice until it's time to not be nice. That's the best movie quote I can give you. Jim Smith, have a great day and keep up the good work. Thanks, Jim. We appreciate you dropping in, my friend. James Hampton, did you sell my truck yet? Nope. The highest offer I've had was $14,000. James, make me an offer. I've got a number in mind that I need to get. Ian, coming through loud and clear, no problems. That is awesome. That tickles me greatly. We're finally making a breakthrough. This hillbilly is getting it figured out. John, LOL, I've been trying to get out of snow for a couple of years now to grow my excavating business, but it pays me well. And it's actually more steady income than anything else I do. That would be a very hard business to let go of. And I would almost be tempted to keep my toes in it to some degree, because you never know when everything else might fall off and you need something consistent and something So I don't know if I would get out of it all the way. Bubba, how's it going, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. How it going, Dirt Man? Well, I'm just hanging out. That's what we're doing today. I'm sitting here looking out my office window, watching the snow blow by, and it's actually blowing almost straight horizontal. And it is a beautiful day. Here in Black Mountain, everything is clean. There's not a bit of snow on the ground. Like a 10-minute drive where we went to eat Japanese for lunch, it was pretty white and it was snowing. I bet anything up in Burnsville, where I've got to do this next driveway project, man, I bet you anything, they're getting pounded up there. let's see, Alex, you're saving me from running out of comments. See what he's got here. Have you ever thought of putting your logo on a coffee cup? Because I would definitely buy one. Yes. And you guys, please weigh in. I would love to see 38 comments. 40 people are in here right now. I would love to see a comment from each one of you. If you were going to want something with the Digging Life logo, the goofy little hillbilly man that's sitting on the tiny little excavator, if you were going to buy something, if it was a hat, a hoodie, a coffee cup, like a Yeti style cup, please comment. You know, just play along. Everybody humor me. Every one of you humor me, and just one word. What would you want? Even if it was free, if you didn't have to pay for it, what would it be that you would want? Because me and Kelly, mostly me, she thinks we need to grow the channel a little bit more, but I would like to get some merch made up. We've actually sold the Southeastern. We've sold a couple of hoodies, several hoodies, and I really don't know why, because it doesn't show anything about the channel. But it's definitely, I would love to get some merchandise going. I would love it. So yes, we'll be doing some coffee cups and other stuff. I would love to get in, you know, stickers, just whatever. When you get going, your voice sounds a lot like the comedian Tim Wilson. Well, you know, it's kind of like, you know, the more emotional we get, the more redneck we are. It's the more emotions, you know, whether we get mad, happy, sad, it doesn't matter. It gets more hillbilly. It gets more and more as it goes on. Did you deal with any anxiety when you started out? How awkward was it for you seeing yourself in the beginning? How do you deal with negative comments? Man, bad habits. You ask a question of somebody who is a professional. For several years now, or several years back, and just you guys comment, shut up, Todd, or something if I get going too much on this, because I actually had a channel, Living with Anxiety, that I just didn't get many videos out on. But for many years now, I want to say about 10 years, 10 years ago or so, I'm just guessing, I was diagnosed with an anxiety panic disorder. And I just got up one morning. It was back when I drove a tractor trailer for United Rentals. I went in one morning and I was standing there in the office getting ready to go load my truck out for the day. And I just started feeling really weird, like really clammy and shaky, and like almost just a feeling of impending doom. So I was like, I got to get out of here. I felt like the walls were closing in. And I got out, got my truck, made it down to the truck stop, and I thought I was dying. I thought I was literally dying at the fuel station. I went in and sat down at the diner table inside the truck stop, and I laid my head down, and I thought, my pride's not going to let me call for help, so I'm just going to lay here and die. That's exactly what went through my mind. I was like, it'll be over soon enough. Well, then I got to feeling better, went out the truck, and it came back. So long story short, I was out of work for 6 weeks with panic, and nobody could tell me what it was. The first daughter looked at me at the urgent care. I thought I was having like a blood sugar issue or a heart attack. And she's like, I think you're having a panic attack. And I was like, there's no way. Nothing's ever bothered me. I was always a laid back person. I didn't stress about things. And I ended up going to a full-time doctor, and it took them 6 weeks to finally just, you know, the more nervous I felt, and it was also like vertigo, like I was dizzy, you know, like when you think of somebody who's terrified of heights, they look over the edge of a building and it looks like the ground's, it's going farther away and coming closer. It was like that all the time. And I'm like, I'm going to lose my job. So thinking about that freaked me out even more, and the dizziness would get worse. So that's how they figured out. They're like, well, if you get more dizzy when you get more upset, let's try an anti-anxiety medicine. So we did the anti-anxiety medicine, and it takes up to about 8 weeks for it to really start working. But I forced myself to go back to work. I was like, if I die, I die. if it's a heart attack, whatever. But I just kept forcing myself to go to work, and I would barely make it through the days. It felt like I was going to just fall over, pass out walking into work. But little by little over the years, I've learned to live with it, and I've actually gotten really good at dealing with it. And right now, I feel like, when I have a real panic attack come on, it feels like your body feels like when you have the flu. That's exactly what, when you got over 102 fever, that's what my body feels like. And it's more of a physical feeling. It no longer scares me. It no longer freaks me out. And I've pretty well conquered anxiety. I have figured it out, and I know what it is. I know I'm not going to die. And I just treat it as just feeling really, sick. So that being said, that long story, and I apologize, but I like telling people, because if there is one person in the 39 of you out there right now that are dealing with those feelings, it is something you can beat. It's something you can learn to live with. And I'm here to help you guys. So yes, when you're talking about starting out, if you're talking about YouTube, the first time I turned the camera on, I felt serious panic. And I felt like I was going to pass out, even though I was in, control. You're the only one there. You're the only one with the camera. It felt like somebody was watching me right then, and that I was going to look stupid, that I was going to screw it up. And I almost felt like I was going to pass out. And I felt just these waves of cold chills and cold sweat, the whole 9 yards. And I had to tell myself, and that's part of living with anxiety. You're in control, and even if the most basic thing you can control is your breathing. And when you tell yourself, I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, I'm going to breathe, and I will stay alive, you can start going from there. You can start pressing forward from there, adding more things. I'm going to walk over this and do this, and I'm going to keep breathing. And you just go from one step to the next. And I told myself, nobody's watching me yet. I am in control of hitting the record button. If I screw it up, I turn it off, I delete the clip, and I get another go. I get another try. And anxiety comes from not feeling like you're in control. That's a big part of it. You're not in control, that you can't control your surroundings. So you need to focus on what you can control when it comes to that. How awkward was it for you seeing yourself in the beginning? Oh boy. In the very beginning, I took it too seriously. I wanted to be just this big YouTube personality, and I expected to put a video out and get a couple of hundred subscribers right off the bat. It does not work that way. I've probably put out the first few videos I put out, I might get one view. You put through all this time and you just get one or a couple of views, and it can be very discouraging. But with me and Kelly, her starting the Kendi fam, it's the same exact thing. She worked and made a couple of videos, and I helped out. And it's a very slow build. Some people, very few people, they'll put out 10 videos and they've got 200 and something thousand subscribers. And all of that is based on how relatable you are. If you really want a great big channel, what you need to do is go to YouTube, on your channel, and then you need to search for trending topics. And you chase the trending topics. Forget about what you want to do. And if you want to just document your life, you've got to chase those trending topics. That's where you're going to get the big subscriber counts. You're going to chase what the majority of people are looking for. If you are doing videos that are only for you and you only make them for yourself, then who is it going to appeal to the most? Yourself. So the more you think about yourself, the less you're going to appeal to the viewers. So I try to make videos about what I'm doing and the goal that I'm doing, but I also think very hard about the viewer experience. I think about, how do I want to make this clip? From what angle would somebody who's standing here watching me do this, what angle would they get the most from? What would be the most entertaining? And then if it's a clip where I'm talking, I always, no matter who I think is watching, I try to put it into terms that I would tell a 5-year-old, because a lot of my viewers are right here watching, and there's a bunch of you out there who have no idea about excavation and grading. And a lot of my viewers are watching, and it's because I've targeted this to teach people. And like tree climbing, when I was learning, I didn't know any of the jargon. I didn't know any of the language. I had to learn it from YouTube. And the best experiences I had were people who would say, this is what it does, this is what it's called. And I learned that way. So I try to put it in terms that are as easy to understand as a viewer possibly can receive it. How do you deal with negative comments? That is very easy. You take that key word in any statement that somebody uses. Let's say like somebody like me. Okay. I actually had somebody say to me one time, they said let's see, is being a hick your only handicap, or is there others? I think that was something like that. And I was like, what a ignorant individual, to come on a channel with somebody whose main desire is to help others and get out there. But, there's just, for all I know, it was a 6-year-old kid, but you can go in to your profile settings, and there is a box that you can ban certain words. So like for me, I can ban hillbilly, hick, redneck, any derogatory term. And, if you find negative comments, that are recurring, it's usually because of a trigger word that they use that you find offensive or makes you feel uncomfortable or mad, and you can block that, and nobody can use that word. Now, some people use hillbilly affectionately. Now, like in this live stream, if somebody typed up a comment that has one of these banned words in it, it will hold it for review. I can see it if I want to, and it's like almost like a ghost text. It's real faint, and I can review the comment before it's posted. So the other thing is there are immature people in this world, and there are trolls. And Elite Earthworks, I was talking on the phone with him one time, and I can't remember which comment it was, but I was like, dude, man, listen to this. And I told him what it was, and I was like, can you believe people talk like that? He's like, dude, you got trolled? And it was like a celebration. I was like, yeah. He's like, dude, you made it. You are a legit YouTuber now that you've been trolled. Brandon turned it in to almost a celebration for me. And he made me feel happy that I had received that comment. And that's the best way that you can take it, is just take it for what it is. A hollow, statement that somebody's using in a desperate attempt to get attention. That's all it is. And believe me, your first few negative comments, they're going to affect you no matter what. I got early on when I first started, I got a little bit of a bad comment, and it would totally throw me off. I would lose my train of thought. I couldn't get back into it, and I'll still lose my train of thought when somebody tries to call me. But every time you receive some kind of a negative comment, you become more and more numb to it. You become just dull. It doesn't really affect you. When somebody says something to you, it's almost like a confrontation, somebody challenging you. Your heart starts beating harder, your breathing probably rapids, and you get to where that doesn't affect you. It's just like dealing with anxiety and panic, like your first part of your question, bad habit. It's something just like anything else in life. The more you deal with it, the more you're going to be used to it. And and the only way to give those people satisfaction is if you retaliate. if you say anything to them. So somebody puts a comment up, and the easiest thing is not to ignore it, just block them and hide their comment from the channel. Because for one thing, if it's really ugly, I've got kids that watch my channel. I've got families that watch my channel. I've had a lot of messages, people saying, thanks for keeping your channel clean. Me and my son or me and my daughter like watching you. And that's my driving factor to keep it clean. So it's not just protecting myself from those nasty comments. I am blocking people from being on the channel to protect my viewers who are here for a good, fun experience. So that's how I deal with it. Don't take those negative comments just being targeted at you. It's a target that they are targeting your channel, and therefore they're targeting your viewers to see that stuff. And you just need to block them, hide them. Don't ever let them back in. Let's see here. Where was I at? There we are. Okay, so Alex, bucket hat. Josh Wills, hat. Bubba's property maintenance. I give out ink pens in my area. Martin Wakely, hoodie, please. Then we've got Tanner. Let's see what Tanner's got. When just getting started, do you recommend setting up an LLC or just start getting your name out there and do some work to make sure you can make things work? It really depends on the type of work you're doing and how much risk. If you're doing stuff that you could potentially get sued, I would definitely set up an LLC because it protects you personally. It separates you personally from your business. And that way, if they go to sue you, if you got set up right, they can only attack your LLC and anything that's owned by the LLC. And then say they just sue it to the point where it collapses or something happens, it collapses, you're good. Also, it protects you, your credit. You can start buying stuff under the business name and it's got its own credit, and your personal credit is separate. So that's what I would do with the LLC. So I would definitely recommend the LLC. If you think you're going to really make a go of it and you are going to really go for this business, I would do an LLC. Now, if you're just dabbling around and doing little stuff and you can operate under your name, but this day and age, people are sue happy. People are just out to sue somebody to get something for free, if nothing else. So if it's me, if I had it to do over again, I would never have done anything without having an LLC. It is hard to not be nervous on camera, even though you can edit. It is tough. And one thing I'm working on now, and you guys may notice, I practice looking into the camera as if it is a person. And it's difficult. Have you ever just tried to talk to somebody in person and look into their eyes the whole time? Some people are not capable of it. So don't feel like you have to. Don't feel like you absolutely have to look right into the camera all the time. I just try to do it like I'm having a conversation with the person sitting across from me. I look into the camera as much as I'm comfortable, but there's a disconnect. When you look away from a camera, there's a disconnect with the viewers. And if you're trying to keep viewers, keeping looking into the camera is going to do that. Let's see here. Let's drop back to John. 2015, I went to the hospital with a flu virus that turned into double pneumonia, diagnosed with ARDS, almost died. Lost my job as a paving foreman. That's when I started my company full time. That's one of those hidden blessings, as people call them. I lost my job in, let's see, was it 2010? Somewhere, around the recession. I got laid off, and I was working for RSC equipment rental at that time. Boy, I'll tell you what, guys, that snow was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The sun came out too. I got laid off, and I worked my tail off for that company. I worked my tail off. And there was one other driver. He had seniority. He was an older guy, but he didn't do nothing. I mean, I would run several loads of equipment a day. He would go out, come back at lunch, get one more load, and he wouldn't be back till quitting time. How can you tell me you show up right at quitting time every day? So I worked really hard, but that company let me go. Not, because I was a bad worker, but just because that's how it operates. And to me, that was wrong. And that's when I decided I would never work for corporate America again, unless I just had to. I'll do anything I have to take care of my family. But right then I decided I will do whatever it takes to have a family-run business. And if I have employees, I will treat them like family. So I totally understand, John. I totally understand. Wayne Ashlock, I love your catchphrase. Welcome to the broadcast. I've always wondered if people really like that or if it's annoying to some people. But it's just like Dirt Boss back on site. It is addictive. I can't wait for him to say it when he starts his shows. Let's see here. Getting the next comment up on the screen. Dirt Root. I have something similar, but my skin breaks out in thousands of blisters. They told me it's brought on by stress. Yep, I've heard of that. I can't remember the name, but I've heard of it. Skid Boot. I get nervous when I don't screw up. Yeah, there's something wrong then, huh? Bad habit. Great answers. Thank you. It's my pleasure, man. It's my pleasure. It is absolutely my pleasure. I'm glad to be of help. And I'm telling you, anxiety and panic are two very, very real things. And just as a quick little thing, if you deal with panic, sometimes it helps to know the backstory. You remember Pan, the little guy that sat under the bridge? He's a mythological, I think he's a Greek character, half goat, half man. His name was Pan, and he would jump out and scare people. That's where the term panic comes from. Alex Outdoors, I thought about that, but I want to do my own thing, and what I do not copy what other people do. My first video was me starting my snowblower because I cannot find a video on YouTube about it. It's little stuff like that people will gravitate to, especially how to. And if you guys are making videos, and you'll notice if you just like to watch videos, you like videos that opens with a problem, and then you've got the middle of it that people are watching you work through solving that problem, and then the conclusion is you displaying the solution to your problem. So that's a good little recipe for making videos that people are going to be into. Bad habit. I have asked him and Jason the same question. Here. Keep on asking questions and you will keep getting answers. Let's move on down. Ian talking to Skid Boot. Let's see here. Where are we at? Gary Falkenham. We love it. We love you guys, man. Y'all just keep on. Stephen Van Bommel. It is expected. Let's see where we're at now. Gary Falkenham. My son would be devastated if you didn't say welcome to the broadcast. Gary, is it your kid that says it with me? I know I got a message and I can't remember who it was. Somebody messaged me and said that the kid waits for the video just so they can say, welcome to the broadcast with me. So welcome to the broadcast. Oh yeah. Anxiety is something that I can talk on. Believe me. That's something it's so difficult to live with, and some people resort. Don't know what the hell. Some people resort to dealing with it in unhealthy ways, and you can get through anxiety and panic. You absolutely can get through it. I dealt with it. I had to stay in bed. Like, it scared me to get out of my bed, and then I got upset and I was anxious because I was staying in bed and couldn't go to work. And it just kept feeding on itself. It's a terrible, terrible thing to have to deal with, but you can learn to deal with it. Husky Services, I love it. And whether they love it or hate it, thank you for the support. Let's see here. Don Melius. Love your channel, Todd. Keep it up. Thank you, Don. We appreciate it. You're doing a great job, entertaining and enlightening. I'm trying. I am trying. Martin, hello, Todd. Can you say what's your next job? I am working on, well, we won the bid. We won the bid. Let me just pull it up. I'll show you guys which video it is. You can go back and scroll through it. Let's see here. Y'all just bear with me for a second. I'm trying to pull up my video so I can show you guys. We did a quote on this video and we won the bid. I'm pretty excited about it anyway. Where is it? Let me find this for you guys so I can show you which one it is. I've done so many gravel driveway quotes here lately. I pulled it right up earlier. Right here it is. That one right there. So, best way. Well, on the thumbnail it says the easy way. It's got like 31,000 views. That muddy, horrible pit of a driveway is our next challenge. I videoed hauling the excavator up there yesterday. And they got 4 inches of snow last night. I barely got up there and got delivered now there before it really started, I think. And we are going to be fixing that mud hole, that muddy, mucky, nasty mess. Definitely excited about it. It's going to be one of the best videos I've ever made. And it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be hard to drive the machine through it. You had mud squishing out. And then, but then you walk on it and you scruff it with your foot, and there's a base there somewhere. I've just got to get down. I've got to dig down to that base, get the mud off it, and then either going to do ballast or fabric to build that base better and bridge that really soft area. So you guys just keep on watching, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It's going to be a fun one for sure. John, good talking to you, man. Take it easy and see you on the next one. Thanks for dropping in, John. We appreciate you, buddy. Dirt Brute, I did a video on spreading topsoil with a snowblower. It was stupid fun. Amen to that. That's ingenuity right there. Oh, boy. I'm going to say Peter. I worked 20 years as a computer programmer, got depression and anxiety, started my own landscaping company, and running it for the 8th year here in Norway. Congratulations, man. Good for you. I bet getting out and working with your hands, I bet that really helped with your anxiety. I bet that was something that was extremely therapeutic, and it is for me. Getting out and working and keeping going, staying busy, you know, it helps me a lot. Jake Angles, if you could restart your business, which piece of equipment would you buy first? That is tricky because it would depend on if I was going to start over doing the same businesses or target the businesses I do now. The reason that I started the businesses originally, which was just bush hogging and driveway grading, was something very lower. It was lower cost to get a tractor than a skid steer, especially the one that I got. I got that mid-80s Yanmar tractor, and this is actually my first piece of equipment right here. That little tractor. That's me sitting there doing my first actual real grading job. And I didn't know what in the world was going on. I had a direction, but I didn't have a very good direction of getting there. So, that one brings back memories. But if I was starting over doing bush hogging and tractor work, obviously I would get a tractor. But if I was going to target what I'm doing now, I would definitely target more. I would probably go with an excavator because that's what I target now. I realize that that's where in my area, that's where the money is. And it's also versatile. You know, I've got a 72-inch mower for my excavator. But you can't mow at a rate with an excavator you do with a tractor. So it's really, Jake, loaded to which service you're starting out with. And it's just, that's a tough one to really give just a generic answer to. Gary, yes, it is. I promise I will send you a video soon. Thanks, Todd. I cannot wait to see it, and hopefully you won't mind me maybe posting it on my channel. I would love to. James Hampton, I like hearing the welcome to the broadcast. It's like good morning to me. I watch one of your videos first thing in the morning while eating breakfast. You give me the kick to get out the door. Well, I'm glad I can be of service, I tell you. Ian Bartner, love that video, Dirt Brute. Eric Crofett, I'm guessing I love your videos. Why did you choose a Ford single axle over other brands of single axles? You know, it just, for some reason, it seemed like a good fit for me. And, you know, for all practical purposes, if I was in a flatter area, it'd probably be okay. But I didn't realize, too, that I could have gotten like a little single axle Mac or something comparable. The ones I looked at, the cost was a little over $100,000, and the Ford was $95,000. So on a tight budget, you know, and only having so much to work with, I just had to go with the Ford. Take a few more questions here, folks, and then we'll wind it up until tonight's live. Miller's Lawn Care, what do you think of the 535? Where did you buy your Yanmar? I bought my Yanmar at Carolina Equipment Rental. And I would actually look at, I think it's the 40. They say it will dig with, or 45. It's one of those two. Or, dang it, now I can't remember. It's like a 40 to 50 horsepower, but it will dig with a 55. And it's not much bigger than a 35. The 35s are awesome. I really like them. I think that they are a solid machine, and Yanmar's smaller machines are very well balanced. They are, they're a lot better balanced than like my 80. My 80 is like sitting on a bull all day. So I think the 35, especially for the price point that they cost, I think that it would make a good one for you. Skidboo, don't forget, makes me sick. I haven't forgotten it. I just haven't had a good chance to use it here lately. Brian Albert, how did you figure out what other excavation companies around you charge to know how to be competitive with your bids? You know, I'm still not positive what they charge exactly. I know we're kindly in the general area because I've had people comment that I'm close to those, but for the majority, I'm more expensive than anybody else. The trick, or it's not really even a trick, it's straightforward. If you're more thorough in your quotes and you list out every little thing that you're going to do, every step, every item, every material, when you charge more and they see that you have more listed out, you know, and we don't know if those other people who don't list them are including it or not. But if you're more thorough and people feel more at peace that they know exactly what they're going to get from you, they will pay you more. I don't know how often I get a job. People are like, well, you're a little bit higher than the other person, but I like you. So you've got the job. That is true. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. And at this point in my career, I do not even care what Joe up the road charges or Leroy over there. Boy, that sounded hillbilly. Anyway, I don't care what other people charge. I have got a price that is set to my overhead and what I want to make. In general, in our area, in a good area of a large, pretty thick population, you should be able to make $1,000 a day. Like say you just say, I want to make $1,000 a day. You put that 1,000, and now all your overhead and your expenses, insurances, equipment costs, rentals, add that on top of that $1,000, and that's how you can come up with a good daily rate. For my excavator and my dump truck, I figure anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a day. Most of the time about $1,500, but if I'm digging rock and hard ground and stumps, loading them up, stumps in my truck, it can get up to $2,000 a day. And that's for a little single axle. I know people that run their tri-axles for $80 an hour. I ain't doing it. I couldn't. With my overhead, I could not run my truck for that. Let's see here. I wish I could pronounce that name. Him. It was the best medicine to get out of the office. I have no doubt. No doubt whatsoever. Haas it is. I like that. I like that. My most popular videos of me with my weed eater with a steel cutting blade, brush cutting. Crazy what takes off here on YouTube. Man, is that not the truth? You've got to appeal to the majority. That's the main goal. You've got to appeal to the majority. So we're going to go ahead and call it right there, folks. Appreciate everybody dropping in. I'm going to put my email up right here. I think me and Kelly will be going live, I would say around 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. If you subscribe to my channel, if you're not already subscribed, you should get a notification, but you can go to the community block on my channel and look for yourself what time I'm planning on doing a live stream, and we'll get together and do this thing. I'll have Kelly on with me, so those little light business questions she'll be able to answer. And I appreciate you guys. It's been fun. We have up to nearly 50 people in this chat. Hopefully somebody got some value. So before you take off, click the like button. Leave me one last comment, and we will see you guys probably around anywhere from 6 to 8 o'clock. So be looking for the notification around then. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.